Welcome back, guys. Going into the second half here of Drop Frames. I think it's week 71. I didn't even think about that. Let's talk a little bit about the Solus project before we jump into our No Man's Sky discussion. And the only reason that I want to talk about this is because you said it has a VR component.
Yes, you can use the Solus project is a completely Vive capable VR experience.
So,
as they call it.
How do you walk? Do you know?
You hold the up arrow and your character moves forward.
Oh, on the Vive pad?
You got it. And the game has a teleport mechanic built in that you can also use. And it actually is necessary for doing some of the puzzle solving and stuff. So,
did you beat it? Is there an end?
I did.
Okay, there is an end. How long did it take you?
Let me about 10 or 11 hours, I think.
Okay, I've got my fill. Tell us about the rest of the game.
Okay. Now, let me say this. When I first started Solus Project, I was expecting, a whatever game, maybe some fun survival components, not a big deal. Wasn't planning on really getting invested in it. It was going to be good for some filler before No Man's Sky. What I got from the game was a thoroughly entertaining single-player adventure. It was extremely fun for someone like me that loves exploring and uncovering lore and stories. It was huge about that. Lots of things to do. There were some puzzles. It really rewards people that like go off the beaten path and finds like there's basically these ships parts that crash all over the place, and they spread out their loot everywhere. So if you take the time and actually kind of move around and look for these things, you can get all
what the fuck is that? Why do you have a metal gorilla monkey?
Dude, I'm not even going to tell you. It's part of the story. But to not spoil it too much, the premise is that Earth is dead. The remaining colonies, the remaining humans are on ships that are orbiting Earth, and they sent out these ships which were aptly called the Solus Project, to scout out these different planets. Now you are on these ships. You're on one of the ships, and you're looking at this certain planet, which is just a planet that they thought may be able to support life. So while you're in the atmosphere, and this happens at the very beginning of the game, so it's not too much of a spoiler. While you're in the atmosphere, something comes from the planet's surface and nails your ship. You are one of the only people that is able to evacuate, and you basically start waking up on this planet from your escape pod, trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
Is it scary?
There are times where there are jump scares. There are times when it is very stressful and suspenseful.
God damn it.
But 90% of this game could be called a walking simulator. It is very much moving through this alien world, seeing the different landscapes, seeing again, I don't want to like spoil it too much, but seeing all the different things on this planet. And it was the kind of game that you get more and more interested as it goes forward. And by the time I got closer to the end, it was a giant 15-minute section after section of, this is what's going on. This is what I've been seeing all this time. This is what's happening. Was
it a survival game? What'd you say?
There are a lot of survival components. You have to eat, you have to drink, you have to sleep. There's really crazy weather effects that happen every so often. In fact, I think one's just about to happen.
This is rain, yeah.
Dude, rain, meteor storms, hurricanes, tornadoes. There's like tons of stuff that can happen. And if you're like out in the open and a tornado comes, it will suck you up and kill you instantly. Like you have to find cover and stuff like that.
I like the giant wind turbine there.
Yes.
Looks good graphically. How'd it perform?
60 almost the entire time.
Okay.
Yep. And I've actually, it's one of the few games I tried with my Vive. I couldn't quite get it to look good, but what's really cool is the Vive is like in this game, if you want to get your stats and stuff, there's your little thing. You can see right there on the screen. You have like this kind of thing.
Is that strapped to a controller?
What's up?
Is that information strapped to a controller? Is that what you're about to say?
No. To look at it in the normal world, you actually move your mouse down. You look down in the world, and it will raise up. So it's kind of like you're moving your head down to look at it.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it works on the Vive. So if you're just looking around like this and you want to check your stats, you actually look down, and your character kind of raises up the thing to look at. And then you can kind of, do anything you want with it. And then when you look back up, it just kind of shrinks off the screen. It works really well in VR, is what I'm trying to say. I wish I could have gotten my Vive working properly to do it with it. So
how much time, you said working properly, how much time did you spend with it on the Vive, or with the Vive on?
This game was the game that I was really trying to kind of get my Vive working on. So it was very much not like I barely got out of the first area with the Vive because my problem, for those that didn't hear about this, I had some serious issues getting my glasses to work with the Vive properly. I could never get it to not be the tiniest bit blurry, and it was just blurry enough to where I couldn't get immersed in it. Like I couldn't, let me put it this way, it was too blurry to read text.
Okay.
So, which was a complete game breaker for me. So I'm still trying to figure out my issues. I've gotten a lot of great advice from people, and I'm hoping I can get. And I don't have enough room for a VR room in this house anyway. But
yeah.
People have actually told me about like the glasses problem with the Vive.
Yeah.
And there's a fix for that. There's a fix you can do. Get better eyes.
That's true. I mean, you're not wrong.
I actually heard also on that same line,
love it.
Shit.
I think actually 1-800 fucking bullshit just called back, and the CEO is actually Zeke. Believe it or not, they're actually calling me all the time during Overwatch because just
so we're
yeah. So it makes sense. We understand now. It makes sense that he's the CEO of that fucking shit show.
Anyway,
my eyes are going bad.
Souls Project is a great game. If you've never heard of it, that's probably the best way to approach it. I don't know how much it is on Steam right now, but I got to be honest, if you're looking for a really cool kind of 10-hour adventure game, it is a great way to go. It's $20 on Steam, and with the time that I put into it, I can say it's worth the purchase. If you play it beginning to end. Also, I got to say this, I'm as being as veiled as I possibly can, I did not expect the ending.
Okay.
And it was a pleasant surprise. I can tell you that a lot of my chat hated it, but I saw it and I was kind of like, okay, like this is pretty cool. Like you can see in the ending of my playthrough on YouTube, I was just kind of like smiling. I was like, I kind of like that this happened. Like
final question. We're going back. The reason you already bought it? Okay. The reason that I'm harping on this is because horror games in VR are probably going to cause me to have a heart attack if I play them. I can
count the amount of jump scares on one hand. It is much more about the immersive experience. As you start uncovering some of the bigger things, there's a few times when they're introduced to you in kind of jump scare fashion. But it's they're not designed as, let's scare the user. It's not like that.
All right, here's what I need. I need to borrow you for like the entire length of the game just to sit in Discord and watch me play. So anytime a jump scare is about to happen, you can be like, all right, it's happening now. Right now.
We'll design a program that overlays a D3D layer so I can send text to you.
There you go. There you go.
Right?
What don't you like about jump scares, JP?
I don't mind. I'm just not a big fan of horror games in general because I feel like it's the one medium that can actually scare the fucking shit out of you more so than books, movies, anything like that. Games, because you're the one controlling the action of moving forward or controlling the character, right? Horror games, I think, are the one thing that fuck with me more than any other medium. When you're in VR, it's a billion times more believable. And so the perfect example is... turn
off.
Okay, spoilers. Perfect example is when I was playing that Star Wars thing, and I was like talking shit to Han Solo, and the thing didn't work. And then the thing like the game like bugged, and it slammed up in my face. If you watch it on YouTube in one of the highlight videos that we did, it just looks like a bug. But in the game, it felt like that thing was literally fucking flying at warp speed to my face and scared the fucking shit out of me. Like I legitimately was like, oh fucking shit! Like I freaked out, and it's that type of shit with horror games. So
I will say this. When I was doing the Solus project in VR, there's one of the weather events is a meteor storm, where literally just giant meteors start pouring down.
I'm sure that looks incredible.
And that happened in VR when I did it. And I remember looking up and one of them was coming to me and I literally fell over. I was like, oh shit. Like I was like,
dude, it's a different,
knocked into my table, fell over it, did a little half roll. And then it's
a different world, man. Like
one of the best VR experiences I had.
I might have to check it out just for that then. Yeah.
The best part was it was instinctual. I didn't think about it. I looked up, I saw it coming to me, and I was just, oh no, like react.
That's the best way to talk about VR that stuff. because if you're in a game and they do a good enough job of making it believable, and there's a table in front of you, you'll walk over to the table in real life and lean in to rest your body weight on it. And then you realize it's not there. And I've done that before. I've fallen before thinking that a chair or table is in front of me. So with that in mind, like, horror games are just amplified a billion times. And I've played one on the Vive, and I played it off stream because I knew that I wouldn't like it. I was just testing the waters. It was one jump scare, and I haven't done any since because it scared the fucking shit out of me.
One.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like a well-made. It was like it was the Dread Halls, which is like not even a well-made horror game on any level, and it's just a fucking gargoyle that was behind me. That when you're not looking at it, it moves, and so I was like walking down a hall, saw this gargoyle, walked by it, continued to walk, and I kept hearing the thing behind me, and I turned around, the gargoyle's around my face, and I was like, "Yep, I'm done. Like I can't fucking do this anymore." And that's all it was. So,
God damn, man, I live for that shit, dude.
you got to get a Vive then, because that's the truest horror experience of all time.
I live to be scared. I love it. I absolutely love. I mean, of course, jump scares are cheap, but
Yeah.
anything that just like gets your adrenaline immediately rolling, like that. When I did the roller coaster thing at E3,
Yeah,
that was fucking fantastic. Like,
that's where you just go down
like looking around and you're doing. I mean, the roller coaster's just a going.
Yeah.
And you feel like, and it's the best part about it is no matter what seat you're in the front seat. You know, like you're in the front of the roller coaster, so there's nobody like in front of you, like shit like that. So you're going, oh my god,
that stuff doesn't bother me at all. But you're right. When speaking to like the immersive factor of VR, you're 100% right. Like your body will respond as if it were actually in a fucking roller coaster, going up and down those fucking bumps. So I might have to check that out in VR.
I would pay I would raise serious money to see you do like a fucking like some sort of like a PT VR experience.
They don't exist. Like every horror experience.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I got you. And see, I played through PT. I played through PT before in full as well, but like I said, halfway through I turned the volume off because the sound shit in that game was fucking with me too much, and I was still fucking terrified. So let's talk about No Man's Sky, the big release this week. It's what everyone's talking about. Just so everyone knows, me and Zeke have not played it. We plan to play it on the PC this Friday. Co has played it, as well as a ton of pretty much every other fucking streamer on Twitch. So we're gonna have kind of Co lead the discussion here, or lead the conversation, because he's the one with the most time with it. But
probably a good reason why we don't have a guest today.
Yeah, because everyone's playing No Man's Sky. Yeah. We asked 3 people. Granted, we asked them yesterday, but everyone was like, I can't, No Man's Sky's out, man. Can't play it. All right, I can't play it while I'm on the show. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I am too. He even asked, he's like, are we doing drop frames? Is there a show on Wednesday? I was like, yes, Co. There's always a show on Wednesday. It's a constant thing.
I could play No Man's Sky if you need me to.
Well, you got morning streaming, right?
What was that?
You got your morning streaming, right?
He did.
Oh yeah.
He did.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
the last 2 days have been pretty incredible.
All right. Before we jump into this, remind me by the end of the show, if I forget, remind me to tell you about the state of Georgia versus Denver Fenton Allen.
Okay.
It's one of the funniest things I've ever experienced.
Okay.
We'll definitely
I'll
do
let
that.
you know about it.
Chat, you got to remind us.
Right. Yep. Chat. That's your job, chat.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
So, No Man's Sky. I went into this game not expecting much. I went into this game a little bit concerned. I had some negative impressions going in because, of course, everyone's been expecting this for a long time, and I didn't really know what to expect. However, I have now spent 12 plus hours in No Man's Sky, and this is what I have to say about it. There is a certain type of person who will absolutely love this game. I am one of them. I'm having a great time in this game. It is thoroughly holding my attention. And I can't wait for Friday for when it comes out on PC, because I have 3 major issues with this game right now, and they're all related to the platform. My 3 biggest issues are the controller, which I'm terrible with. Also FOV, which gives me headaches, but I still play it.
Yeah.
And FPS, which actually drops below 30 at times.
To speak to each one, the FOV only bothers me when there's something on the screen to relate it to, like a gun or something like that. Like if you're walking around like this, it doesn't bother me too much. But the second you pull up a tool or a gun or you're flying around, I immediately am like, God fucking damn, this is terrible.
For me, dude, it's an issue of focus. If I'm entering an environment and I'm looking for things that I need to activate or that I maybe have never seen before, it's extremely hard to do that in this little tiny viewport.
Okay.
And what's even worse is for people like me that sometimes get headaches when there's like a lot of in-your-face motion, it's almost exacerbated with the fact that you don't know what anything looks like in this game, and anything can be a pickup in some cases. And it's just... It's really frustrating. And add to that the fact that I'm playing with a controller, so my motions are not accurate. So I'm whipping the camera back and forth like I'm driving a freaking Pontiac from 1985, like a boat. Like it's a mess. So all of that adds up is just every single stream, at least a couple times, I mention that I can't wait for the PC release. I can't wait to get by these. Now, there's a reason that I said that before about there being a specific group. This game has issues, and there are people that are going to dislike this game. And here's the important part. They're going to dislike this game for very valid reasons. There are people that will dislike this game, and everything they list on why they dislike it are 100% accurate. And there's nothing anyone can really say about them. The worlds are procedurally generated. There's no home world. So every single world you go to has a similar feel. Let me just say it bluntly.
Well,
all the things repeat, like puzzles. In fact, the first 3 puzzles I got for this specific type of transmission thing all had identical answers.
That
and there
sucks.
are people that are going to see that and feel like the game is cheap. There are major issues with combat. There are major issues with pop-in. There are major issues with graphic bugs. There are major issues with crashing bugs. It crashed 5 times on my PS4, and there was a system I couldn't even go to without my PS4 crashing.
Was that because of server issues, or was that because of just game bugs? Or do you have no idea?
I have no idea. Okay. The system one, I'm pretty sure, was a game bug because I couldn't go to that system, period. I even tried going to another system and then to it. Like loading that system crashed my console. Okay. So, yeah, it was pretty bad. Also, there's been a whole lot of drama over the fact that people don't think the multiplayer components actually made it into the game, so they feel misled. That's for later. Let's talk about that later.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Because there's stories about why people think that.
Yes, but let's okay. So that being said, immediately off the bat, this game is not going to be for everyone. This game is for exploraphobes. This game is for people that love seeing new things and going to new places in a framework they enjoy.
Explorophiles.
Good call. Thank you. That's exactly what I Thank you. Explorophiles. It is a game where if you enjoy progression that you can kind of hook into, as long as you can get invested in that progression, then there is a huge amount of it to be had here. All the planets you can discover all sorts of different things on it for bonuses. You can rename everything if you want to. Like I was renaming planets after subs and stuff, and a lot of streamers were doing the same thing. There's your gun can be upgraded. You can then put different components into your gun to then connect. You have to connect them to get extra bonuses, but you can do all sorts of different upgrades there. Your ship, you can purchase any ship from any person in the galaxy. And your ship can have anywhere between like the 15 starter slots or like 30 plus slots. And slots, you will later find out, are extremely important because that not only dictates how much loot you can bring back to sell, but also upgrades take slots. So for every upgrade, for every bit of power you give your character outside of the gun, so to your suit or ship, you are taking away of your ability.
And what do these upgrades do? Like what are some of the upgrades, just to throw them out there? I guess not, because I would think this upgrades are part spoils because you don't want to say everything that's in there.
Oh, it's not too spoily because everything, again, because it's procedurally generated, 90% of the game I've seen, And again, I've only played it for 12 hours, and I wasn't exactly pushing progression because I know I'm re-rolling on Friday, and none of my progress is being saved. So everything I've seen has been like 90% lateral. So it's kind of like everything's on the same, depending on where you go, so you can get lucky or not lucky or stuff like that. Like I was watching a streamer and he said he got to a planet that had a bunch of end game stuff, and he did that early. So I don't really understand the progression, but basically the way that it works is you have a suit, you have a ship, and you have a gun. And each one of those has core components. Like your gun has to have a mining laser. Your ship has to have a hyperdrive and a pulse drive and stuff like that. And then what you can do is build attachments that then alter or change what that thing does. So this is your mining gun. You could just see on the screen there. And your mining gun normally just does mining and stuff. Well, you can put a bolt caster component on it, and then you have a machine gun-like attack weapon. Well, then you can then put all sorts of attachments onto that. Reload speed, damage. There's an attachment that makes it so your shots are instant. There's an attachment that makes it so your shots ricochet. There's also a grenade launcher attachment. And then it has its whole slew of additions you can put onto that. Homing grenades, faster projectile movement, bigger explosions, all sorts of stuff. But because it's on your mining gun, all of the buffs that would also attribute to your basic mining stuff also have to fill those slots too. So you have to kind of pick and choose. So you can make it so your mining laser lasts longer. It harvests more. It harvests a bigger radius. It recharges faster, like all sorts of things. And you kind of have to balance what you want to do as you move through the world. Your exosuit is similar. You have like a jetpack. You have a shield, and you have a life support system, and they can get upgrades you can buff too. And that's also your personal inventory. And then your ship also can have like a weapon component, mining component, thruster, pulse thing, which is like your inner planetary system. And
so
then
it seems like there's a pretty good amount of like upgrades and just naturally things to do.
Well, that's the thing. There's a huge amount of things to do,
but they're all the same kind of.
Every player is going to care about doing them.
Okay.
And because it's so procedurally generated, that like a lot of the stuff is just like, why do I want to do this? Like, why do I care? Like, the story is a little bit loose. The main story is kind of like you need to get to the center of the galaxy, but there's also this side kind of story about this whole thing called the Atlas system. And I'm just getting to the beginning of that. And that story is actually pretty interesting. I'm having a good time kind of figuring.
Real quick side question. Are you starting everything over on Friday?
Everything, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Everything is being reset. And that's because, again, those 3 problems I mentioned are serious problems for me, especially the mouse and keyboard thing.
One of the things that I've seen that actually has kind of sold me on the game, and I forgot who it was exactly, but I probably read a lot more of the giant bombs and the polygons and the Kotaku. I read a lot of that type of articles when it comes to this stuff, and a lot of those guys have shared kind of stories that have happened or experiences that have happened that are unique to them that really sold me on the thing where they kind of created their own narrative within the game. One of them was like, I think it was Alex Navarro from Giant Bomb was saying that he was on this planet and it was basically hell. Like, it was giant mountains. There was heated pools that were too hot of water in between all the mountains and these crevices. And he basically couldn't get off the island because this was before the patch was going to come in and wipe all the servers. And so he told the story of, and I'm kind of paraphrasing a lot of this, so go listen to the Giant Bomb Quick Look if you want the full story or the full narrative of it. But he basically searched this entire planet, got to the very end, and got like an alien artifact or something like that. And it popped up with the decision. There's a bird. A bird just like came back to life in front of him. It's like, do you want to kill this bird or do you want to save this bird?
Probably got to a monolith.
Yeah, a monolith. Yeah, and he's like, do you want to kill this bird or do you want to save this bird? And his decision was to kill the bird, and it rewarded him by giving him like some different upgrade or something in the game when he killed
that exact monolith.
Yeah,
the bird with the head that spins around.
Maybe so. Yeah, They didn't show it. He was telling the story rather than showing it in game. He told that story, and then he decided like, well, I think he had weather come in or something like that, and he didn't have the ability to keep his life up or something. There was something that happened where he basically died, and so he made the narrative like, well, he's in hell. He saved this bird. He basically did the best thing possible, and now his character is dead because the character got wiped after that. And I was like, if you go in with that type of mindset, this game seems to be kind of endless with the amount of stuff that you can just create. But maybe that's true for almost any game, possibly. But this game especially so, because it is, like, they're not fucking around when they say how many planets there are to visit. You can go to the map thing and just fucking keep zooming for literally. I've seen people do it for like 2 minutes straight, and they have not stopped yet.
Yeah.
So with that in
But
mind,
see,
like that's
that
why I
kind
want
of
to play
narrative,
it.
though, that takes a certain kind of person.
It does,
Because
100%.
there's other people that would just land on that planet and die and then just be like, wow, this game sucks. But like he kind of, looked into it and made his own story.
Well,
and like,
yes.
and that's the kind of person.
The other
that I
person would be
enjoy
bitching
this.
that they're wiping the servers, that he fucking is going to die on the planet and can't figure out a way to live. Like, yes, you're 100% right.
For me, one of the reasons I enjoyed this game so much is I was setting my own goals. So like I was at first like, okay, I'm going to make a bunch of money and I'm going to buy a better ship and that's going to let me make more money and that's going to let me upgrade my suit and then I'm going to go and find all these things and then I'm going to find the words. And these are all goals that I set myself. The game wasn't telling me to do this. So I was like logging on in the mornings like this morning today. I was like, okay, I'm going to get my ship and we got plans
You have
for this.
plans,
and then
yeah. Like I'm already making plans of stuff that I want to do on.
Yeah.
But
But
I don't.
again,
I'm trying
it's
to
a sandbox. A good way to think about it is knowing the guys like a sandbox. And if you can kind of sculpt and make the tools and toys that you want to do, that you can have a really good time in it. But if you don't have the drive to do that, and here's the thing, it's important to mention this point that JP, you just brought up a good point. You really can do this in any game like this.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's not necessarily that I'm saying the game is just really good. It's just the game offers the player lots of tools to kind of make their own story if they want to. But if they don't have that urge, they're not going to find a lot of heart and soul in this game. It's so procedural.
Yeah.
That
I've had a lot
kind of hollow in terms of guidelines.
I've had a lot of internal discussion the past couple days watching a lot of the streams because I have not played the PS4 version. I don't intend to. I'm waiting till tomorrow night at midnight to play the PC version. But
A lot of people are.
I'm super excited to play, but I can't determine, and I have not yet, if it's because it's a shiny new thing or because I actively want to play the game or because I think the game looks fucking gorgeous and that's what I want to just fly around in space and look at new things. Because like I saw, I think it was maybe Lyric or something like that. Have you encountered a black hole yet?
No, I haven't.
So Lyric went through a black hole and it it made him travel 11,000 or maybe 111,000, some astronomical amount of light years away from where he was. And I don't
literally astronomical.
Yeah, literally astronomical. Yeah, I don't think he can go. My understanding is I don't think he can go back in there because the black hole disappears. I don't know how everything works, and I kind of don't want to.
Yeah.
But he warped into this fucking like completely new area. The planet in front of him was massive. It was this huge ocean planet with like very little actual areas for him to land his ship. And I was kind of like, that feeling is fucking rad to have just done. He just went through a black fucking hole and now he's in front of a new planet that has entirely new things that he's never seen before. There was some fucking ridiculously looking animal, like dinosaur creature that was kind of small, looked like a raptor, but with very blunt, like eyes and fingers and stuff. Just looked like a fucking shit show of a monster or of an animal. And then it like went up and attacked him and he lost like half his HP when it hit him. And I was like, I kind of like that. Like, I kind of like that that's going to be a thing. I just wonder how long that feeling will last. Like, how many times can I go through a black hole and have that same feeling?
Well,
And
it's important to mention, like, this comes down to kind of our value analysis. Like how do you dictate if a game is worth it? So considering this is a $60 game, you would think that, at least by my guideline, you'd want to get at least 30 good hours out of the game, or less time that's really considered quality gameplay. I have zero doubt that someone like me is going to get that. In fact, I've already done 15 hours. I'm re-rolling again on Friday. I'll probably play tomorrow morning, although I'm playing a different game in the afternoon.
Because like the end of this game is getting to the center, which they've already said. Someone did it prior to the patch, which changed a lot of things because the game's economy based in terms of how far you can travel. And there's a thing that he was selling for like 270,000 credits, which is a lot of credits.
Which is ridiculous. Yeah. Now that I've played the game, can put those numbers. Yeah, that's insane.
It's really ridiculous.
And apparently, at the beginning, you could buy infinite, or you could buy like near endless amounts of the components you need for the fuel, which is what dictates how far you can move.
Okay.
So you could just make a whole bunch of money and then go to the store and buy like a bunch of fuel and then just right through it. So
with that in mind, is that your goal now? Are you going to try to quote complete the game and get to the center of the universe? Because the game doesn't really end there. You could still fucking see all the other planets.
That will
you want
be
to.
probably the last thing I do.
Okay.
Like, for instance, in my playthrough, I randomly found this thing out about this thing called Atlas, and that's all I'm going to say. And then when I went to my star map, instead of my gold line to the center of the universe, I had a 6-planet chain to a thing called Atlas. I had a completely different waypoint. Wasn't even in the same direction
See,
as the
that's
planet.
cool. Like,
So that's what I've been doing for
I
the
like
last
the
5 hours.
minimal. I like the minimal kind of carrot on a stick that they're doing with a lot of that stuff. That stuff that interests me, but maybe that's just the type of gamer, type of person that I am. Zeke, you haven't said much.
I like this idea, but I seriously, if I'm gonna look at this for hours on end, I gotta say I cannot fucking stand pastels.
Oh, the color schemes. Okay.
Fucking
It's
pastel colors.
Destiny-esque. It looks a lot like Destiny. Like,
Yeah.
it really
It's worse
a
than
lot.
Destiny. It's soft colors. It's like yellow, but like more bland yellow. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
blue, but really bland blue. You know, it's not like bright, awesome blue. It's like this fucking. It's pinks and turquoises and fucking Easter colors, and I just can't get into that.
Yeah.
And actually, someone in chat just brought up a good point. Like, I will say that surface level kind of somewhat hollow narrative, it's kind of, again, exacerbated by the aliens you meet in the game. Like, every single alien encountered is boiled down into
A text
aliens does something,
dialogue, right?
you see how many words you understand, and then you either get a selection of a response, and then he gives you a thing, or doesn't give you a thing based on your response. And, like,
Right.
that's it. Now, granted,
So-
every so often you can run into things like, small spoilers, I accidentally accepted a marriage proposal. But it's
That's cool. That's fucking
It
awesome.
but
Does it
much
have any
more
effect?
than that? Like 19 to 1 out of 20 kind of thing.
Okay.
It's going to be kind of a standard interaction, a standard thing. And I'm really hoping as I kind of do more planets that kind of grows out. But again, I keep coming back to this. The fact that it's procedurally generated means that, you're going to hit the same thing
A little bit.
multiple times before you hit unique things. And because of that, it can really affect the experience overall. Like, by the 3rd time I did that puzzle with the same answer, I was just like, come on.
Now I gotta ask.
I'd only done like 6 or 7 puzzles by that time. So
I have to ask, do you still scan everything, or have you already gotten past
no,
that?
I haven't done the full scanning on anything. Like, there's not a single planet that I've done all the scanning on. Like,
What do
I
you
just
get when you fully scan a planet? Do you get more
bunch of money.
credits? Okay.
and it's only animals. So basically, the way that
Oh.
it works is there's a bunch of different types of animals, and I'm going to get the word wrong here, like genus and species and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's imagine there's 20 different types of animals you can scan on the planet. Well, of those 20 animals, there's 8 like species that those animals can fall into.
Okay.
And you have to scan one of each of the species. But you get more points if you scan all of them.
Okay.
But to get like the big planet bonus, you have to scan like the big species of the planet. And some of it's really hard. Like birds, I can't scan birds for shit. I don't even know if it's like broken.
Well, it's probably because it's fucking impossible to aim with this.
Yeah. Doesn't help.
One thing that I'm just like looking at the PS4. This is the PS4 version, obviously, that we're looking at, and I'm like, because unlike Zeke, I think this art style looks great, and I also can't wait to see this at 1440p 60, and be able to see that, because like just this scene, like I would have that as a wallpaper, just the what you're seeing right here. I think it looks fucking incredible. So I'm hoping that one runs well on PC, that the FOV issue is addressed, and that this type of stuff, like, it makes me think of honestly playing Skyrim for the first time and like just walking up upon a cave and being like, what's in this cave?
There
And
are
then going into
definitely
the
parts
cave.
of this game that you can just walk around and enjoy. Like the first time I went into a cave, I just stopped mining stuff. I just like walked around in the cave looking at things. You can also scan plants and stuff too, and minerals and all sorts of new things.
I feel like the scanning stuff is going to be one of the first things that I just stop doing after the third or fourth time.
In fact, like I said, not only have I never scanned any of like planets to full, but there's all sorts of other ways to make money. And really scanning at the end of the day just makes a lot of money. Or you can, of course, like I'm doing there, you can like claim items, you can upload them and it says like discover this and this. But again, like who's going to care about that shit, So it is a side of the game you can do, but you don't have to at all.
Yeah, we'll see. Zeke, any other comments? Because there are some things. Sean Murray did one of the, I guess, the head dev. I'm not even sure of his actual title anymore because he's kind of just like the figurehead for Hello Games in the whole No Man's Sky world. But he did an AMA the other day, and I'm going to read some of his responses. But Zeke, any other thoughts? I think you're just going to jump into it, right? And we'll talk about it next week.
I am going to jump into it. I don't know if it's going to be a game for me, honestly, because it doesn't seem to have like a solid. And listen, this is all just based on my own hearsay and conjecture. I have not touched it. I've only seen little tiny pieces of it, but it seems like an inventory management game.
Oh God, yes.
Without like a fucking
mind-numbingly so at times.
Without like a driving through line, and through line is like a geeky
point
thing. Yeah, it's like a running theme, like something that's pushing you to do, like motivating you to do stuff.
Right.
It's like
right.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot of like motivation, like other than building and getting money and whatever.
Seems very light. Yeah,
it's like exploration is fine, but I would like the exploration to have like some urgency,
which there is absolutely none of in this game. Not only does the game make it clear that you can take your time getting to the center, but it also makes it clear that your entire race has been like embraced by the galaxy as travelers. So like you and all these other people are doing it at once. It's not like a hero story in any means. So it's kind of interesting because that what you just said is, I think, what's going to be an immediate turnoff for a large majority of people that look at this game. And you're absolutely right. That's the thing. You're absolutely right. If you can't make those little tiny stories yourself, which I mean is not something the game devs could ever like expect from people, then that's how a lot of people are going to feel.
Yeah. Well, it's the same trap I fell into trying to play Minecraft. I was like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand why people like it and why it's this huge deal. I get it. I understand it.
Right.
But just there's no appeal to me for that. Like just to say like sandbox, like putting let's picture ourselves in a fucking sandbox and say like here's the tools to create a sandcastle, but they don't give you the why of why you want to create a sandcastle. I like that.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
These monoliths are fun, by the way, and the language system is really cool.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of that.
Learn every word, and whenever you're talking to an alien, if you know the word, it'll show up orange and flashing, and if you don't know the word, it's just like a jumble of random letters. It's a great system that they made for that. Every monolith is like that question you talked about earlier, JP. So they're all different, and I certainly haven't seen all of them, but many of the monoliths are like, here's the situation, here's what you understand about it, what do you want to do? So, and some of the situations are pretty crazy. Like at one point, slight spoiler, but at one point I found a dude that had been basically stitched together from other alien components.
Oh shit.
And like got like he had all these fangs and stuff that didn't belong to his species. And it basically was like, do you want to wake him up?
Did you wake him
and
up?
I knew the words for like terror and never. So in the little thing, like I could see that it was like, no, blah, 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 terror, blah, 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 never. And then it was like another word. So I was like, no, leave him there. And the game was like, good call. Here's a
but I wonder if you choose the other option, if it's like good call.
You can fail.
Here's a oh, you can fail.
You can fail. You lose faction. Like there was another one actually where, what was it? It was the monolith was covered with some kind of gas that had crystallized. And I needed to do something specific to it. And I could either heat it up or cool it down or use some device.
That's what this one is.
And I picked the wrong option. And what it did was it reduced the faction of the monolith owner, and it hurt me like big time. Like
I think that's what just happened right here. Yeah.
Killed me. So yeah, I mean, you can definitely fail the monoliths.
Okay.
You can almost fail everything, even the dialogues with NPCs. You can fail. Like you can have different degrees of success and stuff too.
So
by the way, I just want to get this out there. Like before you think, I'm not hating on anything. I'm not hating on the game because I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah.
Once I get my hands on the game, I am fully prepared to admit I was wrong.
Hey,
I'm
Zeke, can
fully
you
prepared.
just calm down and give it a chance? All right.
I will definitely give it a chance. I'm fully prepared to say like I was wrong. I was totally stupid about this. Just giving you my preemptive like what I've seen so far of feelings.
So I think it was either on launch day or maybe on Monday, right before launch. Sean Murray actually did an AMA over on Reddit, and I think he shut it down before it became more popular than Obama's AMA, which is like one of the most popular ones of all time on Reddit. But there are a couple questions in here that I thought were interesting when it relates, or as they relate to the idea of like hype, and as it relates to hype for games, which I think is something that, you know, we've talked about for years. Total Biscuit has been a huge proponent of like, don't fucking hype a game. It's completely pointless to hype yourself for a game that you've never played before, and that you're kind of like falling into the trap of how all of that works for game releases. But excuse me. In two of his responses, he said there's been times where he's looked at the subreddit and despaired and just thought, quote, how can we ever live up to the expectations of people who have been waiting for this game for 3 years? It's like, okay, that's kind of an interesting thing to say. And he goes on in another comment, and people ask him, like, what do you think about the hype around this game? And he answered and said, quote, real talk, so obviously the hype is terrifying. I mean, I've had this hanging over me for 3 years since we announced. I get like 3 hours sleep a night, but I can't even sleep even if I was home, so it's a catch-22. If we hadn't announced when we did, we probably wouldn't have quit the project without the community supporting us. But God, should I have passed up on Colbert or E3? I don't know. Every time we showed the game, we always assumed people would suddenly not like it anymore. But instead, the hype would only get crazier. I mean, an alternate timeline. Imagine if we could just be showing it for the first time tonight and then launching tomorrow. Imagine how fun that would have been. So it's interesting reading that because it's right. Like, he's right. Like, each time they showed the game, the hype fucking rose for everyone watching it. And when does that stop? Is maybe a question I'm getting at here. Like, at what point do people stop hyping this shit up to these levels where you have, like, Jim Sterling gave the game a 5 out of 10. His entire website has been DDoSed the entire day. He can't fucking do his job because he gave a fucking game a 5 out of 10.
How dare he?
Like, what in the fuck? That's just ridiculous. And it's because the game has just gotten this like insane amount of fucking hype behind it that people who maybe haven't even played it yet because they're waiting for the PC version, or maybe who have played it and they're upset or not upset, they think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, are willing to go that far. Like, it is fucking insane to think about that type of stuff. And I thought it was so crazy.
If you've ever had unsliced bread, it's not that much different than sliced bread.
Yeah, exactly. But I kind of want to just like open the discussion to that. Like, the idea that each time they showed the game, the hype only got bigger. Like, that is such, when it was first announced, I remember a bunch of game journalists, and this is not to their discredit, they're just doing their job and saying their opinions. They were saying like, this could be like, the premise of the game sounds fucking incredible. It sounds like what games have always been striving to do, I think, were some of the grandiose quotes that came out of that. And people that, you know, hadn't played the game yet or didn't have the access that they did kind of like bought into that. And that became the message around this game. Like, this game's going to fucking be the best game of all time, blah, blah, blah. And that's not to discredit the people that said that, but more to discredit just the idea of like, the hype around games is fucking crazy now. I think No Man's Sky, more than any other game I can't think of a game in recent years that's had that much hype around it. Maybe Battlefield 1 had a good amount of hype, but it didn't have the amount of time that No Man's Sky did before it was like actually seen.
Are you talking about like new IP hypes?
Just any sort of hype for like a video game that's launched in recent memory.
Oh, well, God, yeah, it's tough to compare because this is 3 years in the making.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I was thinking like Fallout 4 would have had like that much hype, but that was only months of hype.
Right, they only
3 fucking years. Like,
yeah.
the hype built around, I don't know, Duke Nukem.
I will say from a perspective, if
like
we want
12
to talk
years
about
in the making.
if we want to talk about numbers, Fallout 4 was just about twice the hype. If you want to talk about raw numbers,
Oh, you
So-
mean like, okay, yeah.
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 But even then, I mean, this is
That's going off Twitch
crazy
numbers
high.
is what
there are
Kurt's saying.
streamers in the top 10 streamers that are getting 10x their average numbers in this game. And what's even crazier is lots of streamers are getting 10x their normal numbers. And
Yeah.
even some in the bottom, like in like the 20s to 30s, they're getting crazy numbers too. Like it's really wild how many people want to watch this game right now. But again, I think it's just more because people want to see like, what the hell is it? Is it that good? Like, is it as good? Like it's not hype for the game. It's more hype of wanting to see if it's good or not. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like such an interesting thing that that the industry has started to, and you know, for No Man's Sky, the marketing was 100% Sony. At the end of the day, Hello Games is still an indie dev. The game was not paid for by Sony. They made it as an independent developer. As far as I know, all of that money was purely for marketing, from what I've read. I don't have like any basis for that. It's just from what I've read. So with that in mind, like maybe they did exactly what they set out to do from the very fucking beginning when it comes to Sony throwing all this marketing money behind it because it's on their platform and that's it. Like they did a fucking fantastic job of not showing too much, but not showing too little to keep people reeled in for fucking 3 years until it hit like this fever pitch. And I didn't even, for me personally, I wasn't like going fucking crazy on Monday, but a lot of people were when this game was coming out. And you could even see it too with all the leaked people that were getting it early, you know, from like mom and pop shops or the guy that got it on eBay for the $1,300. Like even those people had a huge amount of eyes on that stuff, so much so that that's like everyone knows about the guy that got the copy early and that it took him 30 hours to beat the game. And that becomes kind of law around, oh yeah, that game took 30 hours to beat. Like, no, he played a version that was patched later. Like it's changed so much. And I think that entire thing is so fucking interesting, but it has nothing to do with the actual quality of the game at the end of the day. So I can't speak to that till I play it on Friday, which I'm doing everything possible to not buy it on the PS4. Because I want to try to experience it.
I'll give me the name of your plan. I'll try and meet up with you.
So that already happened.
Okay. Yeah. Well, do you want to move into that, JP?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So for those that haven't heard, when there's a lot of, we'll just add this to the list of controversy that No Man's Sky has right now. So basically what happened was on day one, 2 PlayStation 4 players decided that they wanted to start working towards each other. So they did. And they got to I think they both started streaming when they got close. And they actually got to the point where on one of their screens, they were at the system that said found by this guy. And then on the other person's screen, the exact same thing, found by you, discovered by you. So they confirmed they were in the same galaxy.
Right.
But here's where it gets a little bit weird. Not only did they coordinate where to meet on the planet, and they did, they both had different instances. The time of day was not set, and they couldn't see each other. So this is where a lot of people are getting confused, because a big thing about No Man's Sky is that it was hinted that it was going to be like Journey, where you couldn't really interact with other people, but you could see them, right? And it was like, there was like a slight multiplayer component. And not that you're ever going to find anyone, but if you do, blah, blah, blah. Unfortunately, what is coming to light is that may have been a feature that just didn't make it into the game, where it, like the whole multiplayer thing may just not be in. Now, the thing, there's again, just to add to all of this randomness, before all this happened, the Hello Game guys were blasting out like, this is a single player experience. Don't expect to find multiplayer stuff, blah, 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 which kind of went against some of the other stuff that was said.
Right.
And to add on top of that, they said they were making nods at the fact that the huge server load was causing things to not work as they should. So people were like, are they talking about the multiplayer thing? Like, what's not working? So again, people are having a very hard time getting hard answers out of these developers. People have approached them with direct questions, and they are not getting direct answers. And just saying, this really kind of highlights the importance of, if you make a game like this, you need to be very, very, very clear about your features and what's working and what isn't.
Right.
Because there's a chance that they may be public in the next few days saying, hey guys, none of this works as we said it did. And if it comes to that, which a lot of people are thinking they're not doing because they're waiting for the PC release, which just adds this whole other layer of not cool to it, then that would be extremely unfortunate. So, yeah.
Wasn't there a lot of talk or conversations saying that the chances of you running into another planet that someone has already found would never happen for like a couple months?
The word was infinitesimal.
Okay.
But the point of it is that obviously that's not the case. And another thing people are saying is that they were hopefully banking on the fact that the chances were so low that no one actually would. And now that people actually have, they're seeing that all that stuff isn't actually there, which is making a lot of people very frustrated and upset.
I think they underestimate the motivation of people to prove, like make you look like an asshole.
Well, maybe not underestimate, but maybe just like didn't factor.
Human ingenuity.
So small that you'll meet people.
Yeah. I think maybe it was just they didn't factor in the people on the internet are fucking crazy and will 100%
and we'll find each other on day
They will try to debunk you as soon as humanly possible to prove that they are right. Like, regardless, I'm the type of person that doesn't really care about any of that drama. Like, I just want to play for myself, and I think so are you.
Same answer. Because of course we were getting this in chat a lot during.
I'm sure anyone.
No, dude, I just say the same answer. I've never been playing it like a multiplayer game. I could give less of a shit. Like, I don't care if I can't see other people. I wasn't planning to anyway. That's not why I'm playing the game. So don't, like, in my opinion, that is as far from a concern as it possibly could be. That's the same thing as like the fact that they've already announced that they're going to add base building and the ability to make freighters, which are those giant ships you see. And that idea alone is awesome. Because if we could build a freighter, it's basically like a mobile base. You could like fly your little ship into it and then warp around. That's awesome.
Yeah, it'd be cool shit.
But the fact that, there's so much in the game, like some people are just latching onto the parts they don't like and kind of vehemently attacking the devs for it. But again, I mean, to the people's credit that are really making like a big deal about this, there's a lot of people that have put up some really good arguments and quoted the devs, especially some of the early things that were said about the project.
Yeah, it's always a little scary.
They made it very clear that the multiplayer was designed to be a component of the game. Like there were interviews they did where it was stressed how you would be able to see other people and do this stuff. And it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm personally staying out of the whole thing. I don't care. Like I said, it's not something I care about. So whatever. I'm just trying to get all the info so I can tell people what the deal is, and even piecemeal at best. But like, there's so much shit about this right now.
That's one of the more frustrating things about streaming a lot of these big games that have controversy like this, is that if you say something incorrect, as you basically become like your own news source to a lot of people, or you become a news source to a lot of people is what I'm saying. And if you either say something wrong or say something incorrect, they will go and spew that as law, like, oh, well, Cohh said that so-and-so happened and blah, 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 blah.
And you know what? That being said, I think it's important to mention that thing about freighters that I just said.
Yeah.
That's not what they actually announced.
Right. Exactly.
All they've said is that they want to add base building and they want to add freighter interaction.
Right.
That's all they've said. So let me just make that perfectly clear for chat.
Because that's going to become... Cohh said they're going to make freighters. Oh, they're going to make freighters. Hey, when are they making freighters? Where the fuck are the freighters? When's the the DLC is freighters. Oh, the DLC is coming out next week. Why the fuck would Cohh say this if it's not true? That fucking kind of like brings everything there. So
I heard there were gonna be like lightsabers in the game.
I heard that too. I heard that's just.
I heard the whole thing's a Star Wars crossover.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Did you hear about the? Did you hear about the lightsabers going to be in the game? There's going to be lightsabers in the game, guys.
I heard on one of the TVs on one of the planets has the entire next Star Wars movie running on it.
That's actually one of the small percentages is that Star Wars is actually in the game. You can find Alderaan. It happens before Alderaan was blown up, and they decided to credit Alderaan within the game.
Oh, and you know what I heard? I heard you go to Alderaan and you're like, oh, this planet's a shithole. I'm glad they destroyed it.
Yeah. Exactly. 100. That's all true. It's all true.
100%.
100%. So that's No Man's Sky. We're going to obviously be talking about a lot more next week when we've all played the PC version, and me and Zeke especially have actually played the game.
I hope I'll be able to. I mean, I'm sure I'll find a way, but I might be drunk next week on.
Oh, that's right. So you're going to Germany.
Zeke,
Games
I'm going to be
Count.
disappointed if you aren't. Let me just.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that's said early.
Dude, I'm gonna get a fucking huge mug of beer. I'm gonna have like a lady in lederhosen like sitting next to me. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Drop frames live from Germany.
Hell yeah, dude.
Or he won't be, and we'll have someone else on the show. We'll see. We don't know if he won't.
Stop
Well,
trying to replace
I'm
me.
not saying that he's being replaced. I'm saying he's going to Germany, and it might be hard to get him on the
JP,
fucking
that would be
internet.
the perfect time.
I know. Let's not do it in front of
talk about it
9,000 people, though.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. We'll talk about it afterwards. Let's do some news. Talk about some fucking news. What? I gotta find the fucking thing because PlayStation sent out a date as well as a stream, or announced a stream for them announcing the Neo in September. And I can't fucking find it. I think it's September 17th.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So they're doing
Next month?
Yeah. September 7th as the official PlayStation event.
Is that the announcement or the release?
That is the announcement of Neo. They're going to do a full big
Okay.
stream for it. Let's see. Confirmed the updated version of the PS4 was on the drawing board in a pre-E3 interview with Financial Times. God damn, it's just like a huge recap article. Press conference in New York City on September 7th, where an upgraded PlayStation 4 is almost certain to be the big reveal. I'm sure PS VR is going to be shown there as well. So that's that. It's happening. Like, we're finally going to get information on that shit.
What have you heard about PSVR, and are you at all hyped for it?
I think that, I mean, we've talked about it on the show before, but I think that if you look at Sony and you look at their first party, they actually know how to make video games, unlike Oculus and unlike HTC Vive, where they make hardware. Granted, maybe Valve is working on a game. They're not working on a game. They're making too much money.
They're making bad consoles.
Yeah, exactly. That's their focus right now. So with that in mind, like, if you have these first party studios, you know, people that have made like God of War and people that made Killzone, like or I guess they didn't make Killzone, but any first party game coming out of Sony, if you take those devs and actually have them working on games for VR that aren't fucking demos, that are like fully fledged games, that's exciting to me. If the tech quality of the PSVR is a little bit less than, you know, the Vive or even the Oculus, and you're not getting whatever the specs are, I don't know those off the top of my head, so I'm not going to say them.
I was going to say they haven't announced them, have they?
I don't think so, yeah. And I think that's why you're getting the PlayStation Neo announcement, is because you need a stronger console in order to pump high fidelity VR into these headsets, whatever the actual specs are. If you think about all that, I think you're going to have better games in VR on the PlayStation. Now, whether they're going to look better or perform better than something like a fucking the top of the line PC, probably not going to happen. That's probably not going to be the case. But they might be better games. 100%.
I can't remember what I demoed at, or what I didn't demo, excuse me. What I interviewed somebody about a Sony PlayStation VR game that I think it was a horror title that I was
Resident Evil?
excited about. No. Oh,
Resident
no.
Evil 7?
I want to play that in VR.
No, it wasn't that. It was a different one, I think. Shit. I forgot what it was, but I remember saying, like, man, I might just have to buy the fucking PlayStation VR just for this. I can't fucking remember what it was.
Wow.
They've shown a lot of VR games behind closed doors for, honestly, since PSVR was announced. Was that last E3? Like, they've shown a lot of stuff, demos mostly. I don't think there's been any full-fledged games that they've shown. But I would think at this event in September, like, that's going to be, they're going to come out, talk about the Neo, actually reveal all that stuff. They've already said it's real, so that's not something they have to announce. But the thing that'll follow is be like, and if you get Neo, here's a fucking VR headset that will maybe ship with that. And they'll probably drop a price on all that stuff too. And also a launch date that I would think is going to be this holiday. I think they've even said it's going to come out in 2016. Or no.
I gotta admit, man,
Let me see
I'm
here.
really hoping the price point is decent, and I'm hoping this could be the shoehorn into like mainstream gaming that VR desperately needs right now.
Exactly. That's
VR
what
has
that's
never
what I'm
been more
talking about.
hyped than it is now. But if they don't do something to work this hype, then it's just gonna fade away like it has umpteen times in the past. It's like
Yeah.
something needs to get that foot in the door. I really hope it's PlayStation. Even I'm not like I'm a huge PlayStation 4 fan, especially if you watch my few last casts of No Man's Sky.
Right.
But no, I think you absolutely nailed it with that, man. Like VR needs quality VR only products.
Yep.
And if it gets the right one, if it gets a flagship title, that could be all it needs. And more importantly, a bundle with the PS4 that's at a decent price point. So people could actually be like, hey, maybe I should buy my buddy a PlayStation 4 with a VR headset for $599. You know, like something that could really make sense to an average consumer. Because right now it's just luxury, and it needs to be much better than that at this point. If
Yeah.
it wants to be mainstream and not just an enthusiast product.
I agree. So that'll happen on September 7th. I'm sure we'll all be watching that. Maybe we'll even be rebroadcasting it if they let us. That would be awesome. If anyone's listening over at Sony, we'd love to be able to do exactly what we did for E3 over that big conference. So we will see. Small little tidbits. IGN is reporting that more people are playing Rainbow Six Siege now compared to at launch, which is awesome to hear. Like, that's really crazy to hear that game's only grown. And here they actually have a graph. Look at this graph right here. Here's a graph. Let's look at graphs, kids. The actual number of daily users is up to 40%, and the spike comes on the heels of the new content update, Skull Rain, which went live last week. I don't know what happened. I didn't even know that was a thing. I've been so far removed from the Rainbow Six world that I didn't even know that was a thing.
I had a few people ask if I was checking out the DLC, but I wasn't aware. Like, do we have info on exactly what that DLC was? That must be a pretty
I can
good
look right
DLC.
now. Yeah, I can look. They had Dust Line and then Skull Rain. Yeah,
Two new
everyone's saying in the chat they fucking love it.
Do they have any operators?
Let's see here. Check out the new trailers for Rainbow Six Siege Operation Skull. I don't want the fucking. I just want to see what's in it. I don't. God damn it. Yeah, so they've got 2 new operators. They're Brazilian. Maybe to tie in the Olympics, I guess. I don't know. Capital and Caveira. That guy's got a crossbow, and that person has a silenced pistol. View loadout. What unique ability? Equipped with a tactical crossbow TAC MK0, 2 types of ammunition, asphyxiating bolts, and micro smoke grenades. And then she has Silent Step, allows her to lurk on her prey almost inaudible until it's too late. Caveira's ability allows her to sneak up on a target, swiftly immobilize them, and force them to divulge the position of the opposing team at the interrogation mode. She's also equipped with the Louison, a unique PRB9 blah 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 custom suppressor and subsonic ammunition. Not simply neutralize your opponent, make sure that no one gets away. Maybe we should fucking
That's
play
kinda cool.
Maybe we should play some new map as well, Favela. New
I mean, that's cool and all, but I'm kind of surprised that generated that kind of spike. I mean, they just did the whole map and 2 new operators things a little bit ago, like a few months ago. And granted, I think that's where that other spike was on the graph.
I think
But-
they also finally put in an anti-cheat thing, which a lot of people are saying that was like additional team killing countermeasures added. That's pretty cool. You get banned for 15 minutes, 50% renown penalty for 30 minutes if you have first offense. Second offense is 30 minutes, 2 hours, 24 days, 7 days on fifth offense. So
That's actually really cool. That back when I played Rainbow Six like every day, which I did for
we
a
both
long-
did, yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge issue. There were people that would follow streamers around and just kill them. So that's a big fix. That's a big fix.
Operators' limbs no longer clip through walls and barricades
Oh, it's a free weekend?
this weekend. Oh,
Oh, it's a free weekend.
does that make
Okay.
sense?
That makes a lot more sense. Great idea to coincide.
Ubisoft is fucking doing smart things. Teammate
Yeah.
loadout information. Oh, that's so good. Fucking they added in. You can see what your teammates are picking.
Okay, that's cool.
They're
I
fucking
gotta
good.
play that game again, man. I always had fun with that game. Like I I just moved on because there were other games to play. It wasn't because I wasn't.
Dude, like this like I'm still scrolling through this fucking change, like still going. Playlist changes, game balancing, other improvements. Okay, we stopped. Main bug fixes. They just go full. They go fucking full hardcore. There we go. We've hit the end.
Man, how can you play this game? It looked too fucked up before.
Yeah, like what the fuck is
Wow.
going on in the game? That's crazy. Okay, maybe I should check that out. I don't know.
I still have never played it.
You know, I've seen people that aren't Zeke that you typically wouldn't see like as big competitive FPS players play this game, and they have a fan-fucking-tastic time. So maybe you should check it out. It's free this weekend, I guess.
No, I think it was free last weekend.
Oh, free last weekend. Okay. Well, then it'll cost you some money. Or
Thanks, JP.
or maybe you can get maybe I know someone you can message. I know someone you can message.
It's not free anymore? Well, then you're going to have to pay money. Interesting. I'm not interested in that.
There you go. You know someone where you can maybe get it for free, perhaps.
Ooh.
Get a copy.
Are we good to move on to more news?
Yeah, what's up?
More Battlefield 1 gameplay next week, August 16th, 3 p.m.
I saw that, and a Titanfall 2 stream is happening the next week. They went live with that at the same exact time.
I am pretty pumped for that game, dude.
Let's see, Titanfall 2 Twitter. Where did I see that at? I think it was Titanfall. Yeah, Titanfall game. Okay, August 16th can't come soon enough. Get ready for Titanfall 2 factions. Twitch.tv/Titanfall. EA live stream. Titanfall 2 multiplayer starts at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. So there you go. Yeah, we'll talk about it then. That's August 16th. When was the Battlefield 1 stuff? Do you remember? I can find it.
August 16th? Wait, what time is that one?
Are they doing them back to back? This one is 2:30 p.m. Eastern.
This is at 3 p.m.
Why would they like? Wow.
Wait, is the Titanfall thing 30 minutes, maybe?
Wait. So Titanfall 2 EA live stream.
Is it at Gamescom?
Oh, I bet you that's where it's at. I bet
they're back to back.
So
Yeah, I bet they're
it starts at
back to
1:15 p.m. Eastern, and the Titanfall 2 multiplayer starts at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. So maybe EA is doing another big Gamescom screen where they where they show all that stuff, I guess.
Wait, this is where Zeke is going, right?
Yeah, Zeke's going to the Germanys.
Zeke, we're going to need on-the-floor reporting.
About Titanfall?
Yeah.
Good point. Never mind. We'll find someone else.
Okay, I'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
Go get Titanfall. And get on, do it.
Zeke just shows up. He's like,
No,
I really like your
honestly,
game. I have some friends that do.
But here's the thing. I'll be doing I'll be working for Twitch. Like I'll be doing like the hosting
Right.
and shit. So I'm sure like we'll get like all the game developer stuff. Like they'll be coming, doing 15 to 30 minute segments, and I'll let you guys know about all the shit I've seen. And I'm
Okay.
sure Titanfall will probably be one of them.
Great. Are either of you guys, were any of you?
All I heard there is I will get an exclusive interview with the Titanfall 2 devs for Drop Frames.
That's
Cool.
what I heard. That's what I heard too.
Yeah, chat, you heard that. It's a promise.
I'll get them over to my
Yeah.
hotel room. I'll have them
Perfect.
come
There
on
you
over
go.
to my hotel and we'll have drinks, and then 11 o'clock p.m. our time,
Just
Germany
turn,
time.
just turn on a camera and we'll just be talking to them.
Yes, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Were either of you big fans of Divinity Original Sin? Were you guys into that?
You know what, man? It was a game that I played more offline than online. However, they have since gone back and added a complete voice acting patch where they
Yeah.
apparently just and it is on the rainy day list. I want to stream it again at some point.
You know they have a second one coming out, right?
Not only that, but my buddy Bikeman has played it and he says it's awesome.
Yeah, I was.
There's multiplayer like arena style RPG combat, and apparently it's really cool.
They had a character creation video come out yesterday, which I watched, and I'm kind of into that. I might actually play that. The first one had a lot of issues, like it wasn't voice acted. It was really slow. It was more puzzle solving than I wanted. I think a lot of people were wanting a Diablo
More of an
3,
action-y RPG
yeah,
kind of
Diablo style game, and it was not that. So we'll see what happens with that coming out later this year. Blizzard announced its plans for Gamescom 2016. They They have World of Warcraft, StarCraft 2, Diablo 3, Hearthstone, Overwatch, and Heroes of the Storm right now. Like, I've never thought about how many fucking IPs Blizzard has that are all doing pretty well, and some doing unfucking believably well when you think about Hearthstone and Overwatch. And then WoW's going to have a big August as well at the end of the month. But they're going to do a new animated short, which is going to be Bastion. So I'm interested to see that one because I've never seen like anything about Bastion other than what he has in game. They're doing some stuff about professional card slingers and community personalities will battle it out in exciting Hearthstone show matches live on the Blizzard stage. I fell asleep. Sorry, I'm back. And then Diablo 3 stuff. People are thinking there's going to be some other big announcement from Gamescom with Blizzard, but I don't think you're going to see anything huge. So we'll see what happens if there is. Any other news from you guys that you've seen over the past week that we should mention?
Okay.
We do have your thing, but
this probably be a good time to
yeah, do that. I'll see if there's anything else.
So when I was doing the Bashi EU mod fundraiser to get him TwitchCon, whatever, people could pay money to not only extend the time limit of Bashi, but they could also pay money like in their message for the donation. They could put like a YouTube link for like a song. But one I don't know who, I can't remember who it was, but someone put a link for this thing, State of Georgia versus Denver Fenton Allen, and it's Rick and Morty. The guys Rick and Morty.
Oh, I've watched that. Yes, that's hilarious.
Reading a transcript, an actual trial transcript.
Yeah.
And it's 9 something minutes long, and it starts. Oh, it's slow burn.
Yeah.
It's a slow burn, and then it fucking ramps up and it grows exponentially, and it's fucking maybe one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. I got a headache from laughing so hard.
I like that.
Okay, it's State of Georgia versus Denver Fenton Allen. I'll put the link in the fucking chat.
I had no idea what you were talking about when you first mentioned that.
Yep.
I listened to every minute of that. I actually had to verify that it was accurate. It is.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. They did it as apparently a live
Yeah, it's Comic-Con. Yeah.
Yeah. But then they recorded it like later professionally.
Yeah.
I think
it's the kind of thing where after you hear it, you go, someone could not have written that better. Like that. It was just so perfect how it was. And the fact that it really happened just makes it exponentially more amazing.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I listened to it and then I watched the video with it. It was better for me just to listen to it.
Right. You can make the scene.
Like what was going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like some of the things that are said, the way they say it, like coming out of, Rick and Morty's voice. Holy shit, dude. It's just, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Just wanted to share that with you because I listened to it 3 times and it was like The Exorcist. It kept getting funnier every time I saw it or every time I listened to it.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like, because you'd be laughing and you'll miss lines.
Right. That happened. Yeah. I've watched it twice now.
White boys, big butts.
Yeah. The way they read it is great. Great comedic timing.
Just thinking about it is so great. All right. Anyways, do yourself a favor. Listen to that. That's it.
I don't really think there's. Oh, I didn't know that. Someone in the chat's kind of doing their thing where they spam a bunch of news. Rocket Beans TV announced they're going to YouTube streaming at the 1st of September. Don't know if it's worth discussing, but it's an interesting move from the 24/7 channel on Twitch. So that's interesting to hear. You've seen. I'm trying to think of other people that have like done that. I guess Jeff Keighley does a lot of his stuff with YouTube, so maybe it makes sense for them to be over there for ad rate reasons. I don't know the business side of that. We won't know until it actually happens or unless they tell us. But cool. I hope it works out for them. We have no idea why they're doing that. If they have a press release, I haven't seen it yet.
I bet you can figure it out. I bet it has something to do with money.
Well, yeah. That's 100%. 100%.
Why would they do that? Oh, money.
Yeah. Which is cool because that means that we won't have to fight for that top spot on gaming talk shows anymore on Twitch. So, yay!
Sad trombone.
Yeah. I hope it works out for him. I don't speak German, so I can't watch their stream a lot of the time. But anytime I've tuned in and it's been English, pretty good. It's cool what they're doing. So good luck to them over on YouTube.
I have a long-standing thing with Twitch, like long-standing, like open bet. If anybody is willing to give me $10 million, I would, like, on my own stream, on my own channel, I will show you my asshole. For $10 million, I will do it.
Okay,
I will be banned from Twitch for life.
There you go.
$10 million.
There you go.
Literally the ultimate sellout.
Yep. I'll see it all the cons still. I'll still go on all the cons. I just won't broadcast anymore.
I'm sure Twitch would love to have you. Hey, it's asshole guy.
Well, that means I can do it. That's fuck you money. That means I can do whatever I want. You know, if I got $10 million, I'd be like, fuck you. I don't give a shit. I'll do whatever.
True. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
A good 2 years of hooker and blow. Then you can show your asshole again.
Well, if that same person is willing to pay me another $10 million, depends.
Yeah.
I have a price. Yes, I have a price, and it's $10 million.
I feel like I would. We'll honor this guy's comment because he spammed it about 7,000 times in chat, but we're not going to say his name, so that's what you get for spamming. Quantum Break, spelled wrong, is going to be added to Steam as well as DX11 Sports, so there's no more Win 10 only for that. So that's for the 4 people that want to play Quantum Break still. Then there you go, you can get it on Steam, which is also kind of nice because I've heard the Win 10. I still don't have Windows 10. I've heard the Win 10 store is not that great.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I've heard it's hopefully that opens the door for Microsoft to understand that they should not be the only platform that should service their games to Windows users. And we'll see if that's actually going to work for any other games. Apparently StarCraft 1's being remastered. That's what they're going to announce at Gamescom. That's a rumor, apparently. I mean, maybe they can get everyone in Korea to continue playing StarCraft 1 because they're still playing it. Just looks like shit on TV, playing a 20-year-old game or some shit. Then, of course, the international.
I mean, people still play chess competitively.
You're right. That's the same exact thing. You're right.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
It'll last.
Yeah. And then the international's been going. You guys watch any of that? You have any interest in the international?
I feel like we should.
I watch it.
I don't, though. I don't like. I have no interest in it.
Sit down and just watch a match. Force yourself to watch one match, Zeke.
Okay.
The way that I get about it is like it's either all or nothing for me. I'd either want to like get involved in that or just not really, and I just don't have the time for that right now. So like I'm kind of in Zeke's boat. I want to like it. I think it's really cool that it's happening, but I've got other things I'd rather spend my time on.
Yeah, at least watch the finals this weekend because the finals prize pool is like 19 million, astronomical fucking prize pool. I don't know how much of first place is getting that. I don't know if it's. Last year it was like 8.1 or some shit, so it's a little bit more than that. Split 5 ways. The production level is 100% without a doubt, in my mind, the best it's ever been in esports across the entire esports world. It's the best. There's not been a fuck up of any size, small or large. When they talk about a hero, they actually bring the hero augmented reality style in front of them, fully fleshed out, doing his animations and stuff just as big, if not bigger, than the actual people on the desk. And it's fucking awesome looking. The stage that they have is split, so it looks like the actual Dota map. And the heroes, the heroes that they choose, instead of having like a fucking banner that you see all the time, they pop up in augmented reality and like interact and stuff like that in front of. So you see the 5 heroes lined up against each other. They're just like really nailing everything. And you can see how much money is being pumped into that stuff from Valve. Because it's fucking just I've used this word so many times, but it's really astronomical levels of production, especially in the esports world. So with all that in mind, if you can get by just lasting one game of Dota and watching Dota, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
How long does a typical Dota match last?
About 25 minutes to an hour.
2.
What, Co? Well, I missed the joke.
Too long.
Oh, yeah. 35 minutes to an hour.
Never mind. I'll just see myself out.
They last about too long.
Yeah. I thought I didn't hear a long, so I heard 2, and I'm like, is that you just saying like a random number because you don't know anything about Dota?
Wait a minute. This is what it feels like to not be the one telling a joke, but being on the other end that doesn't land.
Yeah.
I'll take this one for you, Zeke.
Man, it feels good.
There
It
you
feels
go.
better
There you
to
go.
be on this side of that.
There you go.
I'm usually the one like floating the fucking stinkers out there. And you guys just dead looks, just like.
Wait, so hold on. Zeke's was last week. Well, Zeke was the most recent one. Co just had one, so that means next I get the bad joke next time. So there you go. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
You don't really float a lot of jokes out there, though.
I only go for the ones that I know are going to be good.
Well, that's the thing. You don't. What you laugh at, what makes you laugh, is like the suffering of others.
Right.
So that's not a
the
joke.
most part.
It's just like I can point out this lady fell down the stairs and laugh at that. If you don't laugh, that's fine. But I didn't make that joke.
Sure. Okay.
It's funny to you. Like what you laugh at is that.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Let's do some shout outs.
That's good.
Let's do some shout outs and call it a show. Zeke, you want to start us off?
Yo, okay, sure. Hello, faux R. Where's the faux R? Hell yeah. Ezekiel the Third, variety broadcaster. I do a lot of different games and different years and genres and all that kind of stuff. But I usually broadcast starting at noon Pacific every day, except Fridays. I take Fridays off. Tonight, if I can get everything set up, tonight is going to be Men's Day. Men's Day is going to be over at on my channel at my house, or whatever I'm calling a house right now. And we're going to do some NES madness tonight. We're going to have some NES old school brawling, battling kind of stuff. But I will be leaving in 4 days. I will be leaving in 4 days to go to Gamescom. I will be there in Germany. So if you guys want to check out, or if you guys are at Gamescom, I will be at the Twitch booth for most of the event. So if you want to come say hi or whatever, that's where I'll be. But that's all I got. Thanks to our guest, Nobody. And thanks to CohhCarnage for keeping me around one more week.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
Thank God. I mean, fuck. At least he's gone next week, right, Co? You know?
Hey, I'll take it where I can get it.
I'm going to come. It's 11 p.m., so I'll be done with work, and
We'll let you guys know who the replacement is for next week and who our guest is going to be as well, as soon as we know. Go do some shout outs.
Absolutely. So my name is Co. Hello, Variety Caster. I have kind of a small announcement. I found this out during the stream. So tomorrow I'm going to be starting with No Man's Sky at 8 a.m. But tomorrow at 2 p.m., I'm extremely happy to tell you that we will be streaming a preview build of Shadow Warrior 2. Nice. Which is a game that I can't wait for. I love the original, and it's apparently like a brand new build they're letting very few people check out. So tomorrow at 2 p.m., we'll be playing through that build, and I hope to see you there for it. Find me at twitch.tv/CohhCarnage, YouTube and Twitter under the same name. And as always, big thank you to Zeke and JP, and thank you to you guys for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow, and have a great rest of your day.
I was thinking that you got a call for this thing that we were talking about before the stream, and that went through. So I was actually getting excited. Then you're like Shadow Warrior 2, and
I'll keep you posted on that, but not that.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I'll be streaming some WoW tonight. I'll do the rest of my shoutouts afterwards. And No Man's Sky, me and Zeke both playing that on Friday. I think Co will also be checking out the PC. So watch us all on Friday, then checking out the PC version of No Man's Sky.
It comes out at midnight on tomorrow
at
midnight, right?
at midnight, I think, right?
Is it?
I don't actually know if that's true.
Hold on.
What does
I
Steam
think
say?
the Steam date is wrong, which is what.
Oh, the Steam date is wrong?
Steam date says that it unlocks in approximately 1 day and 16 hours. So someone math that. You're muted, Co. Co, I can't hear you.
You're muted.
Don't worry, I was just doing math and it was all wrong.
Oh,
So
okay,
I'm
gotcha.
actually really glad I was muted because I just realized that all that math was wrong that I just said.
No, it worked out because we all just kind of like looked around. It was good. It was good physical comedy. I liked it.
Okay, but yeah, so it looks like 12 hours, 1 day from now would be 8 p.m. tomorrow, and then 16 hours from there would be like
Noon on Friday.
noon on Friday. Oh shit, that throws my plans for a little bit of a loop.
Yeah.
It's
10
one of
a.m.
those weird
PST.
ones.
So that's 11 a.m. or 11 a.m. my time.
It sounds like it's a 2 p.m. release.
So, have you seen a world that looks like this yet?
I've never seen something that big.
Okay.
No, I haven't seen something half that big, actually. Don't tell me that's is that pre-roll footage?
This is a trailer.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything nearly
Like,
that
look
big.
at that. Look at that fucking thing chasing that thing through the forest. Now they're all running.
I haven't seen a herd of animals like that yet. The ship wasn't nearly that detailed. In fact, the ships are kind of
It looks like
that looks a lot more lush than what I'm used to. What I'm used to in the
yeah.
is like little pockets of tree, like one-off trees every so often. There's not like a lot of forest. Oh, now that okay, that looks nothing like that anymore. It's just little cylindrical asteroids that pop in like 3 feet in front of your face. It looks nothing like that.
PC.
Coming to you soon. Trailer versus live game impressions from
Now,
some
hopefully
guy on the internet.
I'm hoping that it's a PS4 limitation. I'm hoping we can like jack up the draw distance and all of that stuff on PC. Like I'm really hoping that this is the PC version and like what we've been playing on is the PS4 version.
Yeah, like he has those ships fighting for
Actually,
him
you know what? This is what I want to see because there is wicked pop in on the PS4 version flying into.
There's a little bit of dithering
Looks
there.
nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's like there's like 4 distinct stages of like bad phase load in as you go into the planets. It looks nothing like that smooth.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, hopefully it's a PC version thing. So
we'll see what happens. Do you have missiles? Do you have lock-ons like that?
you do have lock-ons. You don't have missiles. You have a mining laser on your ship. You have a blaster thing, and then I think that's all I've gotten. I've only gotten the mining laser and the blaster. I think there's more, but
Have
to
you
be
seen
honest,
that? Have you seen that
I haven't
ship?
even touched.
Okay.
In my 12 plus hours in the game, I haven't even touched upgrading my ship.
Okay.
So
All right.
I don't know.
Well, we'll have more impressions next week, I'm sure, because I think we'll be No Man's Skied out. What's up?
So, no, I don't know. This just made me laugh. I was looking at the No Man's Sky store page on Steam, and then at the bottom it says more like this, and the second suggestion is salt.
Oh, I was half expecting it to be like Snow Horse.
No,
should be
no,
Snowhorse.
salt. I was just like this. More like this. Just salt is the name of the game. Salt, and I think we may have talked about it briefly, but I thought that was funny. That like this salt.
There you go. All right, guys, that's going to do it. We'll do my shout-outs afterwards. Thanks, everyone, for coming out to Drop Frames. We'll see you guys next week, 5 o'clock Eastern. Thanks
for watching, guys.
Every Wednesday.
I'll be here. I'll be there from Germany.
Zeke, we'll have a guest and a replacement. We'll see you guys then. Bye-bye. Maybe. I don't know. Co's going to finish. Oh, fuck, you put it. I thought you were waiting for the cutout. All right, we're good. We'll see you next week. Bye.